Thanks to the members that have arrived on time. On today's agenda, we have 11 nominations listed. We'll vote today on A. Tyson Duva, Assistant Attorney General, Criminal Division; William Crane, Alexander Van Hook, District Judges, Louisiana; James Maxwell, Robert Chamberlain, District Judges, Mississippi; Ryan Kriegsenhauser, Aaron Cregan, Scott Leary, and James Kruger to be U.S. attorneys. We'll hold over other nominations for future consideration. I'd like to give an update on Arctic frost. Since last week, the number of congressional phone records targeted by Jack Smith has increased. It's now at least 14 members of Congress, obviously all Republicans, including former House Speaker McCarthy and former Congressman Gohmert. I expect there will still be more when we get more documentation. Jack Smith claims that he wants to tell his story to Congress, but when I asked Smith whether he met with FBI Director Wray, he refused to answer that question. I've since released documents that show Smith met with FBI Director Wray May 24th, 2023. Smith could have answered Congress, but chose not to answer that question. I've also asked Smith if he used non-government devices for official words. That's a pretty simple question, and no answer from Smith. Lastly, Smith previously said this about the subpoena targeting 8 senators and 1 congressman. Quote, "The toll data collection was narrowly tailored and limited to 4 days from January 4th, 2021 to January 7th, 2021, end of quote. Notably, the subpoenas for McCarthy and Gohmert requested records from November 3rd, 2020 through January 8th, 2021. All of these facts undermine Smith's credibility as well as his actual willingness to cooperate with us. This broader scope demands explanation. The committee will continue its review and hold robust hearings. Next, I want to turn to the Epstein matter. For years, I've sought transparency. As chairman of this committee, I've made bipartisan requests for the information. I applaud the passage of the Epstein resolution. I'll continue to push the Justice Department to release records, which Biden administration failed to do. The victims deserve our maximum effort. Now I'd like to say a few words about judges. This Congress, many of my Democrat colleagues have alleged that President Trump nominates historically bad judicial nominees. One member of this committee that I'm not going to name even described President Trump's judicial nominees as, quote, the most extreme and unqualified judicial nominees ever considered by the Senate, end of quote. So it's legitimate to ask whether my colleagues are right with their statements. Based upon a recent study by professors at New York University and the University of Virginia, the answer is a resounding no. The study by Virginia and New York universities considered objective, nonpartisan metrics to determine a judge's productivity, the judge's quality, and the judges' independence. It then compared results from the first Trump administration, the Biden administration, and the Obama administrations. According to the study, President Trump's judges are quote unquote dominating the field. In fact, the study found that the top 10 most productive judges were all Trump nominees. And productivity isn't the only metric where Trump's appointed judges outperformed. Let's take judicial independence. After all, my Democratic colleagues frequently allege that President Trump only picks loyalists. Surely this would be where President Biden and President Obama's nominees shined. And I just think, as I read reports this week of a couple decisions, I forget what states, what districts the states were in, but we had two Trump nominees overrule Trump. And on one occasion, I think dealing with the Texas reapportionment, there was a 2-1 decision in the Fifth Circuit that said that the Texas reapportionment was not according to law. Now, I could be wrong on my because I just read that quickly. So that's why I want to point out, surely this is where President Biden's and nominees would shine because of productivity and independence. So Trump's nominees dominated the field in this category. All the top 10 judges rated on independence were nominated by President Trump. And that's not all. Let's go to the metric of partisanship, meaning whether judges voted the alignment with other judges nominated from the same party. Trump's appointees win again. 8 of the 10 least partisan judges were nominated by President Trump. So, in short, President Trump has a history of nominating highly qualified jurists to the bench. Today, we're going to vote for a few more. I'm proud to say that under my chairmanship, the Judiciary Committee has and will continue to advance highly qualified nominees to serve the American people. Now, Senator Durbin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Will you have only